Episode 3 Full Water Planet. 다환경. A planet cannot just have metals. It must also have a lot of water for ecology and civilization to exist. The Idalujigoang instructed. 다환경 understands. Searching according to instructions. Report to the captain. We have found a planet with a lot of water and metals. And it is in the habitable zone. Please turn on the automatic driving and take us to see it. The Idalujigoang instructed. Look, this planet has oceans and artificial structures. And Enian Songzu pointed to the surface of the planet below. But this planet has almost no land. Himiwa Iguangwu said. The surface of the planet below the spacecraft is an endless ocean, dotted with floating metal structures and towering buildings. The Idalujigoang took over the driving control of the spacecraft, lowered the altitude, and let the spacecraft pass over the sea. There are no continents on the water planet. This is a world completely shaped by water. Occasionally, a small island was seen emerging from the sea, with the island as the center. There were large artificial steel buildings floating on the sea. It seemed that was the home of aliens. The spacecraft cruised around the planet for several times, and only saw such islands and detached artificial buildings scattered in the ocean. And Enian Songzu suggested, we should explore one of the islands. There may be residents there with whom we can communicate. Then, stop the ship on this small island below and let the passengers get off the ship for sightseeing. Hemiwai Guangwu suggested. The Idalujigoang landed the spacecraft at the harbor of the small island and opened the hatch of the spacecraft. And Enian Songzu, who got off the spacecraft, saw the city in front of him, with high-rise buildings soaring into the sky and metal buildings floating on the water. The buildings here are so magnificent, she exclaimed. The island is densely packed with high-rise buildings that soar into the sky. Around the island, there are continuous metal buildings floating on the water, extending from the edge of the island to the skyline of the sea. The spiderweb-like waterway radiating outward from the island leads to the open sea. This is a huge floating city centered on the island. The waterway of the port has many ships coming in and out. The port is very busy, with many ships and people doing business. The local alien guide Saint Celia greeted them with a smile. She wore a flowing robe that reminded people of the wave, and a circle of coral on her forehead. Welcome to the Water Star, she said, her voice like the sound of waves gently hitting the coast. Please let me be your guide. There are sightseeing tour boats going out to sea. Let's go on a boat. Saint Celia took the Idalujigoang and the other two on a sightseeing boat. The sightseeing boat left the port. Saint Celia explained that the Water Star once had continents, but the rising sea level submerged all the continents, leaving only these few islands. Is the whole planet like this? Then Enian Songzu asked Saint Celia. It's all like this, Saint Celia introduced. Originally, this planet had several continents, but because of climate change and melting glaciers, the sea level rose and the continents were submerged. The only things that are still exposed above the sea are these few mountains that were once on the plateau and are now small islands. Saint Celia sighed softly and turned her eyes to the distance. This is catastrophic. Due to the release of industrial heat, the glaciers melted rapidly, causing large-scale floods. Our cities adapted by building upwards and into the water. People learned to live with less land. The land on the island is very valuable, and the houses on the island are all occupied by super rich people. Saint Celia said, ordinary people can only live in steel houses floating on the sea. If the sea level continues to rise, where will people live? Himiwa Iguangwu asked. There is no need to worry about this, said Saint Celia. In the past, there were a lot of glaciers in the polar regions, and everything was so natural. With the rapid development of modern industry, the energy industry not only has a large number of nuclear power plants, but also has expanded to space, collecting a lot of solar energy in space and converting it into electricity to transmit back to the surface. When these electric powers are working, they release a lot of heat into the atmosphere, leading to global climate disasters, melting glaciers, and the planet has become like this. Now, there are no glaciers to provide water, and the sea level will not continue to rise. However, everything is too late. In this disaster, the lives of the survivors have become like this. What other changes has this disaster brought? Compared to the past, people have become indifferent as a whole, said Saint Celia. People are no longer keen on high technology and modernization, and are no longer as keen on war as before. During the tour, they saw how the people of Waterstar adapted to life on the water, buildings designed like ships, floating farms that use sunlight and wave energy, and underwater research centers full of marine life. They met locals who warmly welcomed them, and were eager to share the story of their unique existence. The three, along with Saint Celia, spent several days exploring the Water Star. They discovered ancient ruins submerged beneath the waves, relics of a time before the water swallowed everything. They witnessed luminescent plankton lighting up the night sky like real constellations. They attended a grand festival held every year to honor the gifts of the ocean and remind them all of the power of nature. Boats made from marine life paraded through the canals, and crowds cheered from balconies adorned with wreaths of shells and coral. As the ship prepared to leave, the LaoDi looked toward the Water Star one last time. Its water shimmered under an alien moon, reflecting the lights of floating cities and islets. And despite everything, life went on. Goodbye, Water Star, she whispered, already feeling a pang of longing. May your waves always whisper stories of resilience and love. By the way, where are you from? Saint Celia asked Bidaluji Guang.